It was late at night in the research station, hidden deep under the city. The air was heavy with the hum of machines. Bright blue lights blinked on control panels. Most workers had already gone home, but one scientist was still there. His name was Dr. Aaron Hale. He was young, tired, and nervous. For months he had worked on a secret project called the Human Potential Device. The idea was simple but dangerous. Give ordinary humans the strength to fight like soldiers, the speed of machines, and the mind of a genius. If it worked, humanity would not fear aliens, not fear wars, not fear anyone. But it was not ready. The machine was unstable. It could give powers, but it could also destroy the person who touched it. Aaron rubbed his eyes and sighed. His hands trembled. He knew he was too tired, but he also knew tomorrow his bosses would demand results. So he decided to run just one more test. The lab was silent, except for the buzzing sound of energy. Aaron placed a dummy into the test chamber. He checked the screens. He typed the code. His finger hovered over the activation button, but then, "Aaron?" a voice called softly. He jumped in surprise. At the door stood Maya, a young woman in a simple uniform. She worked as an assistant in the building, mostly carrying reports, cleaning instruments, and sometimes bringing late-night coffee. She held a cup in her hand and smiled shyly. "You look tired," she said. "I thought you could use this." Aaron tried to smile back. "Thanks, Maya. I really needed that." She stepped closer, looking around at the strange machines. She was curious, but also a little afraid. "What is all this?" she asked. "Classified," Aaron said quickly. He didn't want her near the test chamber. He turned back to his screen and pressed a button. The wrong button. Instantly, the machine roared to life. The dummy was ignored. Instead, bright white light shot across the room, straight toward Maya. She dropped the coffee cup, but before she could move, the beam hit her chest. The entire lab shook. Alarms screamed, sparks flew from the panels. Aaron's heart nearly stopped. "Maya!" he shouted, running toward her. She collapsed to the ground, her body glowing with a strange energy. Her eyes shut tight. Her breathing was shallow. Aaron panicked. He had meant to test a dummy, not a human, and not her. He pulled her away from the broken machine and placed her on the floor. The glow spread across her skin like rivers of light. Aaron stared in horror and wonder. The machine was designed to unlock human potential, to give power beyond limits, but she was never supposed to be the subject. Minutes felt like hours. Aaron tried to wake her. Finally, her eyes opened. They were no longer the same soft brown. Now they burned with golden light. "Aaron." Her voice was weak, but it carried an echo as if more than one voice spoke at once. He froze. "Maya, I'm so sorry. I pressed the wrong button. This was a mistake." She looked at her hands. They glowed faintly. The air around her seemed to shake, like invisible waves of heat. She sat up slowly, confused. What's happening to me?" Aaron swallowed hard. He didn't know how to explain. If he told the truth, she would never forgive him. But if he lied, she would find out soon enough. "You've been changed," he whispered. "The machine, it gave you something, powers, but it wasn't supposed to. It's dangerous." Maya tried to stand, but her legs were shaky. As she touched the metal table beside her, it bent under her hand as if it were soft clay. She gasped and pulled back. "That's impossible," she whispered. Aaron shook his head. "No, it's real. Too real." The alarms finally stopped. The room grew quiet again, except for the sound of Maya's uneven breathing. Aaron knew he should call security, call the higher officers, but something stopped him. If the military found out, they would take her away. They would use her like a weapon. Maya looked at him with fear in her glowing eyes. "What did you do? To me, Aaron?" He opened his mouth, but no words came out. How could he explain that one mistake, one wrong button, had turned her into something that might save humanity, or destroy it. Outside the lab, the city slept peacefully, not knowing that deep underground a new kind of power had just been born. And inside Maya's body, the energy was only beginning to wake up. Maya woke the next morning in her small apartment. The sun was shining through the thin curtains, yet the room felt strange. She remembered the accident in the lab, the blinding light, the burning in her chest. For a moment she thought it was only a dream. But then she saw the broken coffee cup on her desk. The glass was cracked, melted at the edges as if it had touched fire. Her hand trembled when she picked it up. The memory returned in a rush. Erin's pale face, the machine exploding, her body glowing. "No," she whispered. "This can't be real." She touched her chest where the beam had struck. Her skin looked normal, but under it, she felt a constant hum. A vibration, alive, like a second heartbeat. Maya stood and walked to the mirror. At first, her reflection seemed normal. But when she looked closer, she saw her eyes flicker with faint golden sparks. She stumbled back. Her body did not feel weak. Instead, she felt heavy with energy, as if the world around her was too slow. The ticking clock on the wall sounded stretched, like each second was longer than it should be. She closed her eyes and took a breath. Stay calm. Stay normal. But normal was already gone. At the research station, Dr. Aaron Hale had not slept. He sat in front of his broken machine, staring at the blackened wires and cracked glass. His mistake was too big to hide forever. He pressed the wrong button, and now Maya was carrying power that could kill her, or worse, everyone else. He checked the data again. Her body had absorbed more energy than any human could survive, yet she had not died. Instead, the machine had rewritten her cells. She was no longer just human. Aaron whispered to himself, "She's overloaded, and it's still growing." He knew he had to find her before anyone else did. Maya tried to go to work that day, pretending nothing had happened. But the city felt different. The people looked fragile. The noise of cars and voices hit her ears like thunder. Every light, every sound, every heartbeat around her felt too sharp. When she walked into the office, her friend Sam greeted her with a smile. "Morning, Maya. You look tired." She forced a smile back. "Didn't sleep much." Sam handed her a folder, but when Maya took it, the paper burned slightly at the corner. She dropped it quickly. "Sorry, static," she lied. Sam laughed and didn't notice, but Maya's hands were shaking. Later at lunch, she sat alone trying to eat. But when she lifted the spoon, it bent like rubber in her grip. The soup spilled and everyone laughed, thinking it was clumsiness. Maya's cheeks burned with shame. "I can't control this," she thought. That evening, as she walked home, streetlights flickered above her. One by one they buzzed and went dark as she passed. A group of children nearby screamed playfully, calling it a ghost. Maya walked faster, heart racing. Suddenly she heard footsteps behind her. She turned. Dr. Aaron Hale was there, breathing heavily, his coat wrinkled, his eyes desperate. "Maya," he said softly. "Please. We need to talk." She froze. Anger rushed through her. "What did you do to me?" "It was an accident. I pressed the wrong button. You weren't supposed to be in the chamber." Her eyes glowed faintly, and Aaron stepped back. "Stay away from me," she warned. "I can help you," he said quickly. "You don't understand. Your body is not just changing, it's overloading. The energy will keep building. If you don't learn to control it, it will destroy you." Maya clenched her fists. The ground under her feet cracked slightly, sending dust into the air. She gasped and opened her hands, terrified. Aaron pointed. "See? It's already happening." Tears filled her eyes. "I didn't ask for this. I just wanted a normal life." "I know," Aaron whispered. "And I'm sorry. But right now, you're the only one alive who carries this power. And the world. If they find out, they won't let you go. They'll try to take you, use you. Maya shook her head and turned away. She didn't trust him, but part of her knew he was right. Something inside her was burning hotter every hour. That night, she lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. She couldn't sleep. Her skin glowed faintly in the dark. She heard voices outside, cars on the street, the buzz of electricity in the wires. She heard things she should not be able to hear. The flutter of wings, the drip of water 2 floors below. Suddenly, her hands lit up, glowing like fire. She pressed them to her chest, terrified. The light dimmed slowly, but the hum in her body grew louder. "What am I becoming?" she whispered. Far away in a hidden control room, cameras tracked the blackout of the streetlights and strange signals from the area. A military officer leaned closer to the screen. "Something's out there," he said. And somewhere in the city, Maya closed her glowing eyes, not knowing the hunters were already looking for her. The city moved on as if nothing had changed. People worked, laughed, argued, and lived their ordinary lives. But for Maya, nothing was ordinary anymore. Every hour, the strange energy inside her grew stronger, hotter, heavier. She tried to ignore it. She tried to act normal, but the world refused to let her. The first accident had started small. At her workplace, she was helping to carry a stack of folders. Her friend Sam joked, "Careful, don't drop those." Maya smiled nervously, but as she gripped the folders, the paper shredded in her hands as though cut by invisible blades. The entire stack burst into pieces, fluttering across the room like snow. Everyone laughed, thinking it was clumsiness again. Sam shook his head. "You really need sleep." But Maya's heart pounded. "I didn't cut them. They cut themselves." She quickly left the room, holding her trembling hands close to her chest. Unseen, power later that day, while walking down the street, Maya bumped into a man. He turned to scold her, but his face went pale. "What are you?" he whispered. She frowned. "What do you mean?" He pointed. His wrist was swollen, bones cracked, just from her light touch. Maya gasped and stepped back. I didn't mean to." The man stumbled away in fear, muttering words like monster and demon. People stared. Maya pulled up her hood and rushed away. Everywhere she went, the energy leaked out, hurting others without her control. Aaron's warning that evening. Aaron found her again. He looked exhausted, but his eyes were sharp. "Maya," he said firmly, "listen to me. The overload has begun." She glared at him. "You keep saying that. What does it mean?" He took a breath. "The machine didn't just give you strength. It opened every cell in your body. You are pulling in energy all the time, electricity, heat, light, even radiation. It's feeding you nonstop, but your body is not a container. It's more like a balloon." She crossed her arms, and balloons burst. Aaron nodded grimly. "Yes. Unless you learn control or we find a way to stop it, you won't just hurt people. You'll explode with enough force to erase half the city." Maya stared at him, her face pale. "You're lying." But deep inside, she already knew it was true. Every heartbeat felt like thunder in her chest. Every breath shook the air. Breaking point. That night, she tried to sleep. She couldn't. The hum inside her had become a roar. When she touched her pillow, sparks danced across the fabric. When she stood, the floor cracked under her bare feet. She ran outside into the dark streets, desperate for air. But the city was alive with lights, wires, and machines. The energy inside her connected to them like invisible threads. Street lamps flickered and burst. Cars stalled as she walked past. Dogs barked wildly, sensing something unnatural. Her fear only made it worse. The glow under her skin spread until her whole body shimmered like molten glass. The bridge incident. Maya wandered to an old steel bridge. The river below rushed quietly, reflecting the city lights. She leaned on the rail, trying to calm down, but the metal bent under her hands. She pulled away quickly, but the rail twisted like it was made of soft clay. Suddenly, 2 people walked onto the bridge. A young couple, holding hands, laughing. They froze when they saw the glowing figure at the center. "Hey, are you okay?" the man asked. Maya shook her head. "Stay back, please." But the energy spiked again. The entire bridge trembled. Bolts shook loose, sparks rained from the lamps above. The couple screamed and ran away. Maya fell to her knees, gripping her head. The glow from her skin lit up the night sky. "Stop, please stop," she whispered, but the energy refused to obey. For a moment she thought the bridge would collapse. Then, silence. The glow dimmed. The hum quieted. She breathed heavily, tears rolling down her face. The watchers far away, hidden cameras recorded everything. In a dark control room, military officers replayed the scene. The glowing woman on the bridge, the twisted steel, the strange energy. One officer leaned back in his chair. "She's not a ghost. She's not a trick. She's real." Another officer's eyes narrowed. "And she's dangerous. If we can control her, she's a weapon. If we can't, she's a threat." Orders were given. Teams were sent. The hunt for Maya had begun. Maya's fear back in her apartment. Maya curled up on the floor. Her skin still glowed faintly in the dark. She pressed her hands together, praying it would stop. But inside, the energy whispered louder, as if alive. It wanted to escape. It wanted to grow. She remembered Aaron's words. "You'll explode with enough force to erase half the city." Her eyes filled with tears. "I don't want to hurt anyone," she whispered. But the city outside had already noticed the flickering lights, the broken machines, the stories of a glowing woman, and somewhere in the shadows, soldiers were already moving closer. The city no longer felt safe. Every streetlight that flickered, every whisper in the dark made Maya feel watched. She kept her hood low, walking fast, but the glow beneath her skin would not hide forever. She returned to her apartment only to find someone already waiting inside. It was Aaron. He sat at the edge of her small table, his coat covered in dust, his face pale from sleepless nights. When Maya stepped in, his eyes lifted to hers with quiet guilt. "You shouldn't be here," she snapped. "You've done enough." "I had no choice," Aaron said softly. "They're coming for you." "I had to warn you," Maya froze. "Who's coming?" "The military. They know something happened. They've been tracking the energy spikes. They'll find you soon." Her hands curled into fists. The air around her vibrated, shaking the lamp on the table. "And whose fault is that? You built the machine. You pressed the wrong button. You ruined my life." Aaron didn't argue. He lowered his head. "You're right. I failed. But Maya, if you don't let me help you, it won't just ruin your life. It could end everything." A truth too heavy, Maya glared at him. "You keep saying that. You say I'm overloading. You say I'm dangerous. But what are you not telling me?" Aaron hesitated. His lips trembled. "The project wasn't what I told you. It wasn't only for soldiers. It was for control. To build humans who could stand against alien forces. To make weapons out of people. The energy inside you. It wasn't designed to be stable. It was designed to break limits. No matter the cost." Maya's chest tightened. "So I'm not a person to them. I'm a weapon." Aaron's eyes filled with regret. "Yes. And now, because of me, you're their most powerful weapon. Or their biggest threat." Maya stepped back, shaking her head. Her skin glowed faintly, golden cracks of light spreading across her arms. "You lied to me. You used me." "No," Aaron shouted, standing quickly. "I never wanted this for you. You were never supposed to be inside the chamber. I should have stopped you. I should have—" Maya cut him off. "You should have been careful, but you weren't. And now I can't even hold a spoon without breaking it. I can't touch anyone without hurting them. Tell me, Aaron, how do I live like this?" Her voice shook, but so did the walls. The window glass rattled. Light bulbs flickered above. Aaron lifted his hands. "Please calm down." If you lose control, Maya's eyes burned golden. What if I don't want to calm down? The breaking moment, the air inside the apartment grew thick. Papers floated off the desk. The lamp cracked, showering sparks. Maya's hair lifted, moving as if caught in a storm. Aaron's heart pounded. He had seen test subjects before, but none like her. If she unleashed her full energy now, the entire block would vanish. Maya, he whispered, listen to me. You are not a weapon. You are still you. You have a choice. Her breath came heavy, glowing veins visible along her skin. Do I? Or am I just waiting to explode like your machine wanted? For a long moment, the world held its breath. Then, with trembling effort, Maya closed her eyes. The glow dimmed slightly. The papers fell back to the floor. She dropped into a chair, exhausted. Aaron exhaled shakily. Silence filled the room, broken only by Maya's uneven breathing. The shadows outside. Neither of them noticed the small black drone hovering outside the cracked window. Its red eye blinked, recording everything. Far away in a command center, an officer leaned over the feed. Target confirmed. Subject is unstable. Send the team. Trust and betrayal. Maya lifted her head slowly, tears on her glowing cheeks. I can't do this. I can't live like this. You can, Aaron said firmly. I'll help you. We'll fix it together, but you have to trust me. She laughed bitterly. Trust you? You turned me into this. You've been lying since the start. I'm telling you the truth now, Aaron pleaded. You are not alone in this. Please, Maya. Her golden eyes locked onto him. For a moment, she wanted to believe him. She wanted to trust. But then deep inside, she remembered the fear in people's eyes. The man whose wrist broke from her touch. The bridge twisting like paper. Maybe she wasn't a person anymore. Maybe she was only a weapon. The arrival, a sudden crash, shattered the silence. The front door exploded inward, blasted off its hinges. Black-armored soldiers stormed inside, rifles glowing with blue energy. On the ground, one shouted. Hands where we can see them. Maya gasped, jumping to her feet. The glow under her skin flared again. Aaron raised his hands. Wait, don't shoot, you don't understand what you're doing. But the soldiers ignored him. Maya's chest pounded like a drum. Fear and anger collided inside her, pushing the energy higher, hotter. The walls shook. The soldiers stepped back nervously, their weapons trembling in their hands. Aaron's voice cracked as he shouted, Maya, if you lose control now, there'll be nothing left of this city. Her glowing eyes widened. She stood between the soldiers and the scientist who had betrayed her, caught between rage and despair. And then the energy burst outward, lighting the night sky like a rising star. The blast shook the building. Windows shattered. Dust rained from the ceiling, and the soldiers stumbled back as a golden wave of light rushed from Maya's body. For a heartbeat, the whole room glowed like a newborn sun. When the light faded, Maya stood in the center, chest heaving, eyes burning like fire. The soldiers had dropped to the floor, shielding their faces. Some groaned, their weapons melted in their hands. Aaron coughed through the smoke. Maya, stop, please, you can't fight them all. But Maya wasn't listening. Fear and anger twisted inside her, feeding the storm under her skin. She looked at the soldiers crawling to their feet. Their armor was black, their helmets faceless, but she could feel their eyes on her, cold and calculating. They weren't here to save her. They were here to cage her. The first clash, one soldier raised a glowing rifle and fired. The blue beam shot across the room. But before it could touch her, the energy bent, curving in midair. It snapped backward, striking the wall behind him with an explosion of sparks. Maya gasped. She hadn't even moved. The power had acted on its own. The soldiers froze, realizing what they faced. Then with a roar, they charged. Maya lifted her hands without thinking. A wave of golden force burst outward, throwing 3 of them through the broken door. They slammed against the hallway wall, their armor cracking like glass. Her breath caught. I did that. But there was no time to think. More soldiers rushed in, surrounding her with humming weapons. Flight through the city, Maya. Aaron grabbed her arm. We have to run, now. She hesitated, staring at the soldiers. Part of her wanted to stand and fight, to show them she wasn't afraid. But another part, the human part, knew she couldn't control this power. If she stayed, she would destroy them all. She turned and bolted for the window. With a single leap, she smashed through the glass and landed in the street below. The concrete cracked under her feet, sending shockwaves through parked cars. Alarms wailed. People screamed and scattered. Above, black drones buzzed through the sky, red eyes glowing as they tracked her. Soldiers poured out of armored trucks, surrounding the block. Maya's heart raced. She ran, but she wasn't running like before. Her steps were faster than cars. The ground split beneath her with every stride. Streetlights flickered and burst as she passed. The whole city seemed to wake up to her power. New powers of drones swooped down, firing blue beams. Maya raised her arm instinctively, and to her shock, a golden shield shimmered into existence. The beams struck it and dissolved like water on fire. She gasped. It's protecting me. With a push of her hand, the shield exploded outward, smashing the drone into pieces. Other drones closed in, firing from every side. But the air itself bent around her, the beams twisting away before they touched her. The energy inside her wasn't just strength now, it was shaping the world around her. She stumbled into an alley, panting. Her hands shook. She didn't understand any of this, but she knew one thing. The more afraid she became, the stronger. The power grew. The chase tightens. The military didn't give up. Trucks blocked the streets, soldiers spilled into alleys, and helicopters roared overhead. Searchlights cut across the city, hunting her like an animal. Maya ducked into the shadows, but her faint glow betrayed her. People hiding in their homes saw the golden figure running past and whispered in terror. Some filmed her on their phones. The legend of the glowing woman was already spreading. Aaron finally caught up, limping, his face pale. Maya, we can't keep running, they won't stop. She turned to him furious. This is your fault. They only want me because of you. I know, he shouted, desperate. But listen, they'll kill you if they can't catch you, and if they can't kill you, they'll use you. You have to trust me. Maya's chest burned with golden fire. I trusted you once. Look what happened. Before Aaron could reply, soldiers swarmed the alley from both ends, rifles hummed. On your knees, one barked. Maya looked around, trapped. Her pulse roared in her ears. Fear turned to fury, and the ground exploded. The rising storm. The street split open as a golden shockwave blasted outward. Soldiers screamed, thrown into the air like leaves in a storm. Trucks flipped onto their sides. Windows shattered in buildings. Nearby, Maya stood in the center, glowing brighter than ever. Her hair floated in the air, her eyes blazing like suns. The energy was no longer hiding, it was alive, roaring, unstoppable. Aaron shielded his face from the light. Maya, if you keep using it like this, you'll burn out. But Maya wasn't listening. She felt the power surge through her veins, stronger than fear, stronger than pain. For the first time, she wasn't the hunted. She was the storm, the you. Soldiers scrambled to regroup. A commander shouted into his radio, "We can't contain her, she's too strong, call for heavy units." Above, helicopters circled. Giant machines rolled into the streets. Tanks armed with plasma cannons. The military wasn't giving up. They were just getting started. The Hook Maya looked up at the sky, her body glowing like a star against the dark city. She felt the energy, growing, bigger than her, bigger than anything human. Her voice echoed through the street. You wanted a weapon. Here I am. The soldiers trembled. Even Aaron stood frozen, unsure whether she was still Maya or something far beyond. And in that moment, the world finally realized the glowing woman was not just running anymore. She was fighting back. The city burned with chaos. Sirens wailed. Smoke rose from broken streets, and the night sky was alive with golden light. At the center of it all stood Maya, her body glowing brighter than fire. Helicopters circled above, searchlights locked on her. Tanks lined the street, their cannons humming with deadly energy. Soldiers crouched behind walls of steel, their rifles ready. And yet, none dared to fire. They had seen what she could do. Aaron stood a few feet away, his lab coat torn, his face streaked with dirt. He shouted through the roar of engines, "Maya, you have to stop, you're tearing yourself apart." But Maya barely heard him. The hum inside her had grown into a roar so loud it drowned out the world. Her skin burned like molten glass, her veins pulsed with golden fire. Every heartbeat sent shockwaves into the ground. Her eyes darted between the tanks, the soldiers, and the terrified people watching from broken windows. She wanted to run, but her body refused. The power inside her no longer felt like hers. It felt alive, hungry, demanding release. The military's gamble, from a command truck nearby, General. Cade watched the glowing woman through a monitor. His face was stern, his voice cold. "She's not human anymore," he said. "But she's the weapon we need." A young officer hesitated. "Sir, she's unstable. If she explodes, then we make her aim where we want first," Cade cut in. "Deploy the resonance emitters. Push her." Moments later, strange machines rolled into the streets. Towers of black steel humming with low, sharp frequencies. The sound cut through the air like invisible knives. Maya staggered. She clutched her head as the emitters screamed into her bones. The energy inside her surged violently, pushing against her skin like it wanted to escape. Aaron shouted, horrified. "No, stop, you're forcing her, she'll detonate." But the general only watched, his eyes cold. "Good. Let's see how big the blast is." Maya fell to her knees, screaming. Golden light poured from her skin, splitting the pavement beneath her. The air burned, the ground cracked, her vision blurred. She saw faces. Her friend Sam laughing at lunch, the man whose wrist she had broken by mistake. Strangers running in fear. Every memory stabbed her heart. "I don't want this," she cried. "I don't want to hurt anyone." Aaron ran toward her, dodging falling debris. He grabbed her shoulders. The glow nearly burned his hands, but he didn't let go. "Maya, listen to me. You're still you. The power doesn't own you, you own it." She shook her head, tears of golden light spilling from her eyes. "I can't control it, it's too much. I'll burn alive." Aaron's voice cracked. "Then burn with purpose. Don't let them decide who you are." The pulse. The resonance machine screamed louder. Maya's glow swelled, brighter and brighter, until the soldiers shielded their eyes. The tanks backed away, engines whining. The energy inside her reached the edge. She could feel it, like a dam ready to break. If it burst, the city would vanish in golden fire. Her body lifted off the ground, floating in midair. Her hair rose around her like flames. The street trembled, cars flipped, and windows shattered for blocks. General Cade's voice boomed through the comms. "Do it! Push her to release! Let her erase this city!" Aaron screamed back, his voice breaking. "She's not your bomb!" Choice. In the fire, Maya hovered above the ruined street, her body blazing like a star. Her voice shook as she whispered, "I don't want to be a weapon." The soldiers trembled. Some dropped their rifles. The people hiding in the buildings pressed closer to the glass, watching the glowing figure above them. Her power could destroy them all, but her words carried something else. Aaron looked up at her, his eyes filled with desperate hope. "Then don't be. Show them. Show yourself who you really are." Maya closed her eyes. The energy screamed inside her, begging to escape, begging to destroy. She clenched her fists. She thought of the man who called her a demon, the couple, on the bridge, the fear in every stranger's eyes. And then she thought of herself, the life she wanted, the person she was before all this. She opened her eyes, golden tears running down her face. "I am not your weapon." The release, with a scream that split the night, Maya thrust her arms outward. A massive wave of golden energy burst from her body. The resonance machines exploded into fire. Drones fell from the sky like broken birds. Tanks slid across the streets, their cannons melting. Soldiers were thrown back, but the wave didn't kill them. It only pushed. The city shook, but it did not fall. Maya had chosen not to destroy. She had chosen to release without ending lives. The glow dimmed slightly. Her feet touched the ground, again. For a moment, silence filled the air. Everyone stared at her. The soldiers, the people, Aaron, even General Cade, watching from his truck, leaned forward in shock. She controlled it? The cost Maya collapsed to her knees, gasping for breath. The light around her flickered weakly now like a candle fighting the wind. Her body shook, her skin pale beneath the fading glow. Aaron rushed to her side, holding her before she could fall. You did it. You controlled it. She shook her head, her voice weak. No, I only held it back. It's still inside me, still growing. Aaron's face hardened. Then we'll find another way. But not as their weapon, not as their prisoner, as you. Maya looked at him with tired golden eyes. For the first time, she almost believed him. But above them, in the dark sky, more helicopters arrived, more lights, more machines. The fight wasn't over, and Maya's power was still climbing toward something no human had ever survived. The city held its breath. Smoke drifted between shattered buildings. The streets glowed with the golden cracks left from Maya's last burst of power. Helicopters circled above like vultures, their searchlights burning down on her. Maya knelt on the ground, weak, trembling. Her body flickered with light, sometimes dim, sometimes so bright it blinded. Every flicker was stronger than the last. The overload hadn't stopped. It was only waiting. Aaron held her shoulders, fear etched into his face. Maya, listen to me. You can't hold it in forever. The energy will demand release again. This time, it might not stop. Her voice shook. Then what happens? Do I just burn alive? Do I take the city with me? Aaron didn't answer. He couldn't. The military's demand through the smoke came, the heavy thud of boots. Soldiers surrounded the street again, weapons humming. At their front stood General Cade, tall and iron-faced, his coat flapping in the wind of the hovering helicopters. He raised a megaphone, his voice cold and sharp. Maya, you've seen what you are. You can't hide it, you can't fight it, but you can choose where you burn. Fight for us, and your power will have meaning. Resist, and you'll die alone. The words echoed against the broken walls. Soldiers tightened their grips on their weapons, waiting for her reply. Aaron shouted back, furious. She's not yours. She's not a bomb you can aim. Cade ignored him, his eyes locked on Maya. Decide, girl. Be our weapon or be our corpse. Maya's reflection. Maya looked down at her glowing hands. They shook violently, sparks falling from her skin like drops of fire. She remembered every moment since the accident, the coffee cup melting in her hand, the man's wrist snapping from her touch, the bridge trembling under her fear, the soldiers hunting her, calling her target, threat, weapon, and Aaron, always. There, sometimes a liar, sometimes a guide, sometimes a desperate voice begging her to stay human. Her heart pounded. The energy inside her screamed louder and louder. She could feel it tearing at her veins, demanding freedom. She whispered to herself, I didn't ask for this, but maybe I was given it for a reason. The transformation. The ground shook as Maya rose slowly to her feet. The golden glow around her grew, spreading from her skin into the air itself. Dust lifted from the street, floating around her in a swirling storm. The soldiers aimed their rifles, fear in their eyes. Aaron stepped back, shielding his face from the blinding light. Maya, what are you doing? Her voice echoed, soft, but filled with power. I'm choosing. Cade raised his hand to give the order. Fire, but the word was drowned out by the roar of energy. Maya lifted her arms, and the glow erupted into wings of pure light stretching behind her. The street shook as the wave of power pushed outward. Yet it did not destroy. It bent around. The soldiers, bending their rifles, cracking their machines but sparing their lives. The soldiers stumbled back, dropping their weapons. Some fell to their knees, unable to stand before the storm. General Cade shielded his eyes, his jaw tight. Impossible. The final choice. The power kept climbing. Maya's whole body now burned like a living star. Her voice thundered across the city. You wanted a weapon, you hunted me, you tried to break me, but I am not your weapon. Her golden eyes swept across the soldiers, the tanks, the helicopters above. She could destroy them all in a single heartbeat. The energy begged her to. But instead, she clenched her fists. And I am not your enemy. The wave of energy pulsed, outward, not as destruction, but as release. It spread through the city, washing over the people, the buildings, the sky. Lights shattered, machines died, but no lives were taken. The helicopters spun out of control and fell, but the golden wings caught them, lowering them safely to the ground. Soldiers were thrown back, but none were crushed. The tanks melted into useless slag, but no fire consumed them. Maya's scream split the night as the last of the energy poured from her. The entire city glowed for one breathtaking moment, as if the stars themselves had descended. The aftermath, then silence. Maya collapsed, her glow fading to a faint shimmer. The storm was gone. The energy that had tormented her for days was finally quiet. Aaron rushed to her side, cradling her trembling. Body, you did it. You released it without destroying everything. You won. Her eyes flickered open, tired but calm. No. Not one. Changed. General Cade staggered to his feet, his face pale. He looked at her with awe and fury. She spared us when she could have ended us. His officers exchanged nervous glances. For the first time, the soldiers saw her not as a weapon, but as something beyond them. Something new. Maya stood slowly, leaning on Aaron for support. Her glow had dimmed, but a faint golden shimmer still lived beneath her skin. She looked at the terrified soldiers, the ruined machines, the broken city, and she spoke with quiet strength. You tried to make me a weapon. Instead, you made me something you can't control. She raised her head toward the night sky. The stars seemed closer, brighter, almost within reach. I am not human anymore. I am not a test subject. I am something new. Her voice carried through the silent streets. You wanted a weapon, instead you created a god.